Today we're gonna turn this into this. Today we're gonna paint the A, B, and C pillars black, and also paint the dome light, the map light, and any of the trim pieces, and a couple other things that I'll be showing you how I'm gonna paint. I'm not sure if this is the way everyone's done their trim paint, but this is what I'm gonna do. For the last couple hours, I've had a couple people over and we've been prepping everything, not taping it off so much, but just cleaning everything with, I believe it is lacquer thinner. Yeah, it is lacquer thinner. We just did a little test patch before because I'm not sure if it was gonna react with the plastic poorly and maybe soften it, but it seems to be just fine. So we wiped everything down with the lacquer thinner just to get a nice surface. And then we just started painting. I just prepped one to make sure it was gonna work and that our process was good, I guess. The paint we're using is trim and bumper paint by Duplicolor, and it seems to be what everyone's using nowadays. Some people use Plasti Dip, but that just kind of seems silly as it's just gonna peel off once you get a little scratch or something. Once it's all painted and done, it should look like this one. This one I just tried to make sure my process was good. There's a little bit of like specks here and there, but actually I'm really surprised how well it came out. My painting skills aren't the best, so I was worried about maybe making it run too much, but it seems to work pretty well actually. So we're gonna do the rest of them the exact same way, and then I'll do a couple of trim pieces here or there. All the pieces we were painting today were taken out in not the previous video, but the video before that, the roof rack, which me and Taylor started. So this is all just a kind of continuation because I don't want to take my car apart, put it back to take it apart. I'm just gonna do everything else. That's why we're also gonna be doing the headliner in a video coming up pretty soon. So if you guys are wondering how I got all this plastic out, check that video out. There's not a whole bunch of that because it wasn't the main video, but it was a portion of it because we did have to get the headliner out. Just one more thing before we get back to painting the rest of the trim pieces. I'm just gonna show you guys what I'm using for boost, quote unquote. We were gonna paint outside, but unfortunately, right now it is really, really breezy, and you'd have to be like millimeters away from it to get the paint anywhere. It would just blow away, unfortunately. So we're stuck with working in the garage, which I'm not complaining. It is heated, so I'm not freezing out here, thanks to Alberta, but this is where I'm painting. I have a couple lights so I can see, and then just some towels around so I don't kick up any dust. I'll try not to. And then also just a couple lights so I can see my paint. I think that's about it for what I want to cover, so let's get painting. We got the A, B, and C pillar all painted, and I'm actually surprised how well they turned out. They look really, really good. I think it's a combination of just the paint and the plastic. The paint is a trim plastic, so it's gonna stick real well and not be super glossy, but not be matte either. And it looks almost identical to the stock pieces, which is amazing. I won't be installing them for probably 12 hours just to let the paint harden and cure, I guess. And I don't want paint on my seats, that's the big thing. So I'm going to just finish up with the little pieces of trim here and there. There's like seatbelt stuff. And then have one more thing before we finish this video. I got all the trim pieces and the other things that I wanted painted all messed up and ready to paint it. So the last thing, almost the last thing, there's one more after this that needs to be painted, but masking wasn't too bad. Most of this can be painted, and like the screws and stuff, the paint will just come off if it needs to be. I just had to mask where the lights were on this one, and this one where there's like a little mechanism. But now we just get to paint them. I got the trim pieces done finally. They probably took longer than the pillars themselves, even though the pillars are a much larger surface area. I think it's just because there's so many tiny little crevices you gotta get painted and stuff. I'm kind of picky about that. I don't want any of the gray showing, unfortunately, or fortunately, make it look better. There they are. Not too shabby, I would say, for an amateur paint job, but you can see they're still drying. There's some of the stuff is still pretty glossy, like these I just finished up. As I said, I wanted everything blacked out. So there's one more piece to the puzzle. It's the part of the seatbelt that's actually connected to the seatbelt itself. So we have the seatbelts undone. Let's go find one that I can get to first. As I said, there's one more piece to the puzzle. It is a part that is connected to the seatbelt itself. So this part, this is what I want to paint black. I think I have a plan. I'll show you guys. I kind of started setting it up on the other side. Just flip that one out. So I'm gonna try to make like a tiny paint booth where I can pull these seatbelts out. I have the seatbelts pulled out as far as I can on both of them, and now I'm gonna try to make a booth with a little plastic bag so I can spray them like this, and then flip them over, spray them the other way, and then cover the, well, I'll be masking the seatbelt, so the seatbelt won't be black like this part. And then we're gonna see how long that lasts, because I don't know how long the paint will last for the seatbelt going up and down. Call me crazy, but I think this might actually work, or work relatively well. So I kind of made like a tiny little paint booth in here and painted painters taped the actual belt itself, and then I can just go paint the brackets themselves, because there's no other way. You can't get the bracket off of this belt because the way the seat belts are made, unfortunately. That'd be awesome, but that would not work. So I'm gonna do this, flip them, or do this, go to the other side, get that one ready, hopefully be able to flip these over, and then by then be able to paint the other side and then flip it over, and hopefully they should be good enough to just look. They'll probably wear off eventually, but just for a while, and this little part will be gray anyways. So everything's been painted. The little seatbelt brackets are actually a lot harder than I thought. The painting, you have to paint it actually 3 times. You paint it once with the face up, one face down, and then you spread the seatbelt itself, then you paint there. So you have to wait for that to dry, and it actually takes quite a bit of time. But I've got the final coat on, and they're just curing, I guess. So I'm gonna wait for 12 hours for everything to be finalized and dry, and I'll see you guys in 12 hours then. And 12 hours has passed, and I think everything is, at this stage you'd be putting stuff in, but I'm not gonna put anything in because we have one more thing left. If you see behind me, there's a headliner that would have to go in before this, and then these trim pieces actually hold up the headliner. So if I put the trim pieces in, I'm gonna have to take them out to put the headliner back in. So we will be leaving the trim pieces out for the most part. I'll just be putting in seat belts in the requirements, but that is just because next video we're gonna be wrapping the headliner. So be sure to check that one out when that's out, because I have no idea what I'm doing there. I think for the most part, our mini paint boots actually work quite well. You can see the belt is actually there. I was just taking off some of the tape, but it looks to be good. There's a couple of weird spots here, like here, I don't know what happened, but I can fix that if I need to. I think this one is the rear seat belt, so you won't even see it, so it's fine, but this one actually turned out really well. And same with the other side, so let's pull them out and see how well they actually did. After a couple little touch-ups here and there, I'm actually quite impressed how they turned out, just because how difficult the angles were and trying to get everywhere that the belt will go on, and just trying to make it aesthetically as pleasing as possible. Here is the other side. This one is really good actually. I'm impressed. Like perfect coverage. And here's the other one. I actually forgot to do a side, so I just finished touching that one up. And it's pretty good too, I have to say. So let's install them, and that's about it for today. I ended up only putting the driver's seat belt in because that's all I'm gonna need for the next few days till I get the headliner in. I hopefully am doing that pretty soon. I'm not sure how well you guys will be able to see it because it is black in there and it's pretty dark, and I have no lights, as if you guys know, I took them out with the headliner, but there it is without the cover. Yeah, you can't really see it that well, but that's probably a good thing because it blends in really well. I'm quite impressed of how well it showed out. I'm pretty sure the paint is one of the reasons that it came out so well on everything, because it has the adhesion promoter, and all you have to do is wipe it down and make sure there's no dirt and dust, unlike some paints you'd have to sand it and get it all ready, but this, it just has the adhesion promoter, and it's supposed to be for outside of vehicles, so it should hold pretty well too. And it also dries relatively quick, so it makes it pretty easy mod if you guys want to do it on. It probably is the same process for pretty much any vehicle if you're thinking about doing it. I'm pretty sure it will improve the aesthetics of the interior by 100 folds. I can already tell the black looks great. It matches pretty much all other black stock plastic. Unfortunately, you don't get to see me installing it. That's because the next video is going to be the headliner, so I don't want to put it all in and take it out, so it's just sitting beside for now. That is it for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video of how to black out your interior of your car with a couple rattle cans in more like 6 hours, but that's it. So peace out and stay humble.